Let's be honest for a second. Have you ever looked around at your life and wondered, God, are you even doing anything right now? Like seriously. You've prayed, you've cried, you've waited, and yet nothing seems to move. It's like heaven has read your message but left you unread. Yeah, we've all been there. But here's the truth I want to speak over your soul today. God is at work, right now, even when you can't see it, even when you can't feel it, even when it feels like everything's falling apart. God is building something you can't see yet. See, God doesn't operate like us. We look at clocks. We measure progress. We panic when things take too long. But God, He's not in a rush and He's never late. The silence you feel right now, it's not neglect. It's preparation. It's not the absence of movement. It's just that He's working behind the curtain. You don't see the roots growing beneath the soil. But when the fruit shows up, you'll realize He was watering you the whole time. Let me give you a picture. You ever bake something? You get the ingredients, mix it up, throw it in the oven, and then you wait. And when the smell starts hitting your nose, you know something good is coming. But you don't yank it out just because you're hungry. You trust the process. That's what walking with God feels like sometimes. It's not about instant results, it's about consistent trust. And trust isn't built by getting everything you ask for either. It's built by believing even when you don't. Think about Joseph. God gave him a dream that he'd be in a position of power. But then what happened? His brothers betrayed him. He got sold into slavery, falsely accused, thrown in prison. I mean, how is that part of the plan? But guess what? God was at work. Every step, every betrayal, every setback. Because behind every pit was a purpose. Behind every prison was a promotion. God took Joseph from forgotten to favored, not in spite of the pain, but through it. And maybe you're like Joseph right now. You've got a dream from God, but your life looks like the opposite. Maybe you're sitting in a place you never planned, facing things you never wanted, and it's tempting to think God left you. But He didn't. He's working, just not the way you expected. Let me say this gently but firmly. God is not ignoring you. He's building something you're not ready to see yet. You see a delay. God sees development. You see silence. God sees soil. He's planting something. And guess what? Buried and planted look the same for a while. But one ends in death. The other ends in growth. You're not buried. You're planted. You might be walking through a quiet season. A season of waiting. Of wondering. But just because God isn't loud doesn't mean He isn't leading. Sometimes He's speaking in whispers. Sometimes He's building your character before He reveals your calling. He's aligning the right people, the right timing, the right opportunities. So when the doors open, you're not just ready, you're rooted. And listen, even Jesus waited 30 years before His public ministry. 3 years of pouring into people who barely understood Him. 3 days in a tomb while everyone thought the story was over. But God was working even in the grave. Some of us want God to move like Amazon Prime. We pray today and expect a package tomorrow. But God isn't a vending machine. He's a gardener. And gardeners don't panic when the seed takes time to grow. Here's something wild to consider. You can be exactly in the will of God and still feel like nothing's happening. No open doors. No dramatic answers. Just faith and waiting and trusting. But that's how spiritual maturity grows. Because if your faith only works when things are fast and fun, then it's not really faith. Faith is believing in the waiting. Faith is trusting in the silence. Faith is obeying even when nothing's changing. Let's talk about your life. Maybe you're praying for a job and nothing's moving. Or for a relationship to be restored. Or for healing that hasn't come. And your heart whispers, God, are you even listening? Yes, He is. But He's not just working on the thing. He's working on you. Because when God blesses you, He wants the blessing to last. And if He gave it too soon, it might break you. So He's forming you, shaping you, strengthening you. And maybe you feel like you blew it. Like you took too many wrong turns. And now God's plan is off track. But let me remind, you are not powerful enough to ruin God's plan. You're not that strong. God knew every decision you'd make and He still called you. He still has a plan for you. He's the God of redemption, not just perfection. He rewrites, He restores, He rebuilds. And He still works all things, not just the good things, together for your good. So here's what I want you to hear here. Don't give up. Don't walk away just because you can't see what's happening. Don't stop praying. Don't stop believing. Don't stop sowing seeds. Because something is growing. It just hasn't surfaced yet. And when it does, you'll see that every tear, every trial, every night you cried, it all mattered. God was at work in the dark. God was moving in the middle. God was building something beautiful from your brokenness. And maybe right now you feel tired, weary, like you've been trusting and nothing's changed. Let me speak life over you. God is not done. He's still writing. And the chapter you're in now, it's not the final one. So hold on. Keep the faith. Keep showing up. Because one day, this will all make sense. You'll look back and say, wow, God really was working the whole time.